Hey everyone, my name is Robert Thewison,
And I'm Owen McKay.
and this is uh, the second half of our screencast. We're doing part two, question four, uh, and the question states: explain what an outgroup is and why an outgroup is important. And so, I guess for a standard definition that we talked about is an outgroup is a reference group used by scientists to determine evolutionary relationships among three or more groups of organisms. And so, anyway, so that's kind of my standard definition for it. Something that kind of helps me think about what an outgroup is that I guess Owen, is this showing on everybody's?
Yeah,
It
it
probably
should.
is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I like this picture that Owen has up here. It actually obviously says what an outgroup is, and the sister groups or the sister taxa right there. Those are those are what we call what maybe would call an in group that they have subcoloniality together. So, for example, a werewolf and a vampire. Say you're a scientist and you're classifying what a werewolf is, and you're trying to figure out different, uh, I guess, different nodes on the phylogenetic tree to split your different characteristics. So for a werewolf, as you're classifying it, maybe they eat a lot of meat, red meat. They have hair, and they're most active on full moon nights. So we can kind of say that those maybe are, and as we increase our population size or increase our species count, those maybe would be called an in group. And the moment we start trying to classify maybe what a vampire is, where they, maybe they don't eat meat, they drink more blood, and they have, maybe they have more pale skin like on Twilight, I guess. But the idea here is that once there's a difference in between those two species, then you can then you can break it off. But before that, there is a common ancestor that shows here with them that they're connected. But maybe, like I said, like what they're eating is different, or the type of skin they have and things like that. So the idea is that the in group they're with the phylogenetic tree there are a lot of them, and then out group is a reference point that we can use to maybe trace back to a common ancestor for werewolves and vampires, or birds, for example, could be another one. So anyway, that's kind of a lengthy explanation for it, but at least it helps me kind of think about it. So
And I think one of the big things to remember is, yes, the outgroup shares a common ancestor, but it helps us make some inferences about the relationship of those different organisms in the in group. Um, when you use outgroup analysis to help figure out, I guess, where the relationships between those organisms are, and eventually you take the hypotheses that are made in outgroup analysis and you use parsimony analysis to go even further to figure out what those relationships are and how everyone fits in that phylogenetic tree, which parsimony analysis should be the next question. So I hope everything worked.
thanks, Owen.
Thank you. Bye.